My name is Adrien, and with my partner Hélène, we are going to present you our project into the new dacha. So KRASNY DVOR, 8 kilometers away from the sorry.
Don't worry, we just do it again from here.
Belt, and that surrounds the city, and also a natural reserve along the Mukhavets River. So near this site, we identified 3 architectural typologies, such as large housing complexes and cottages, defining a strong contrast between collective and individual housing, and the dacha's traditional model of vacational housing. The latter combines all social classes with an ubiquitous nature, and though this model tends to disappear, we, as West Europeans, view it as a solution for sustainable housing. So, therefore, with a rich nature on the site, our ambition was to create a wildlife crossing system throughout the grid, allowing the biodiversity to flow through. In combination, public amenities with different scales valorize the grid from the large axis to the narrower street.
This wildlife crossing system, as well as recuperating and redirecting rainwaters to the main river, generates the pedestrian circulation, allowing the inhabitants to have a greater sense of nature integrated into their neighborhoods. Private parking spaces are set 1 meter under ground level and are directly connected to the streets, avoiding car presence in the center of the plots. Activities and stores are directly faced to the streets, whereas dwellings give access to the raised private gardens on the south. At the +1 level plan, the different variations of the program appear, showing our strategy to dispose the inhabitants in the 2 plots and to create large gathering spaces in the center of these 2. The systematic approach finally converges to a singular south-oriented form, which provides to all the inhabitants a similar sense of space, whether you live in a house or in an apartment. The landscape associates walkways where neighbors can meet, and with the gentle relief and a strong presence of vegetation around the buildings. Densities have a relation of 2 to 3 between the 2 plots, with 9 buildings of 49 apartments on one plot, houses on the other plot. Half of the total surface is reserved for green spaces. The earth digged for the parking spaces is then reused to raise the topography on the south of each building, creating a visual separation between the public and the private spaces on the east-west axis. The slopes of the ground assures a continuity of the interior domestic spaces to the private gardens, and also the disposal of a wildlife crossing area. The continuity is reinforced by the presence of a double skin facades on the north and south of the buildings, creating a continuous glass facade seen from the outside.
So those intermediary spaces offer storage for cycles and bins, as well as the access to the dwellings in the northern double skin. The south-exposed winter garden can be opened to the outside in summertime. The upper floor allows them to have access to the north facade and a view on the southern one. The main principle remains the same in the collective housing. Therefore, we still have a dual exposition, double skin facades, and a main living space. The core of the buildings are enveloped by a shell that creates a ventilation system controlled by a thermal sensor throughout the seasons, with a dual flow technique that concerns different spaces with the temperature and the natural ventilation. With parkings on the ground level, a geothermal heating system can be placed under each building. Thanks to a filtration system, rainwater can be used for the heating system.
A timber frame structure seemed to be the most adequate solution for these extreme temperatures in the region. So with the addition of exterior wood cladding, we benefit from the local wood industries and economizing energy and respecting the traditional aspect of the dacha. ISOVER Integra ZKF is mainly used in our project for adequate isolation and ISOVER acoustics. For a nice intake of the natural lights in the north, we disposed the windows in the exterior side of the wall. The underground garages are isolated from the inside. And so the developed strategy for compact south exposure buildings brought us to respect the passive house requirements. Therefore, inhabitants won't have to leave the cities to go enjoy the nature in dachas, but the nature comes to the cities and with maximum solar gain, inhabitants may stay during hard winters. Thank you.
Thank you.
The first prize winners from France, Elaine and Adrien. Merci beaucoup. Again, no microphone, you see this?